Today we're diving into the electrifying intersection between art, technology, and community with two incredible guests. Joining us are Zubeida Alawi, the Director for Strategic Communication with Alawi Global, and Joelle Ater, a Creative Director for Riley's Residence and founder of Boise Art Rebel. Together, they've brought to life Neural versus Natural, a live visual arts creation event, a pioneering design battle blending human artistry and AI creativity. This event just isn't about competition. It's a celebration of Boise's growing reputation as a vibrant cultural hub, where innovation meets inspiration. Let's explore the making of this one-of-a-kind event and the vision driving Boise's creative movement. Joelle and Zubeida, what's happening? How you doing today?
Hi, great. How are you?
I'm doing phenomenal. Thanks for joining me and spending some time with me to talk a little bit about this upcoming event that you have on deck here. And I'll just get right to it. I want to talk about the concept behind this event, Boise Art Revel, right? Specifically, a pretty unique theme behind what you're constructing here, kind of a blend of technology, art, and culture. First of all, let's just get the name of the event and the date on deck here. When is this launching?
All right, so it's December 6th, and it's on a Sunday.
December 8th.
Sorry.
On a Sunday.
December 8th.
You got one part right.
All right, sorry. So it's December 8th on a Sunday, and it's at the Hap Hap Lounge, which is on top of the music hall. Yeah. And it's called Neural versus Natural, and it's part of our initiative, which is Boise Art Rebel.
Okay, cool. So what brought about the concept behind this event? Because, I mean, we'll get into some of the elaborate details of the event, particularly kind of the competition structure, et cetera. But talk to me about the conception of this event. Like, where did this idea come about?
Great question.
Yeah, you do.
All right. So I work in the innovation space with startups, and I run Alawi Global Studios. So working with startups and working in innovation, like the leading edge of innovation, I brought something from that to the creative space, because with like things like design thinking and art and creativity, it's definitely a part of the whole ecosystem, and I kind of want to make that into something that's known. So we decided to make a competition for a few different reasons. So competition is like the cornerstone of progress in society. It helps people push boundaries. It fuels innovation. It inspires people to bring their best to the table. So sometimes when you're in a competition, you produce something that you never thought you could produce, unless that pressure was there. Yeah. And we're doing this not in like a pressure way. We're doing this in like a fun atmosphere, like a competitive atmosphere. So that's kind of the theme of it. We're going to do like 3 rounds, three competitions, 1v1, and then prizes for everyone. I think the participants and the viewers will all be surprised at the outcome.
Yeah. Well, let's peel back the curtain a little bit and talk about kind of the I guess practical sense of what it is, right? You have designers that are coming to the table, and with most people that are, I guess, your stereotypical average person, they're probably thinking of designers or graphic people that they use Photoshop or they use Illustrator, et cetera, and they're used to constructing billboards and posters, et cetera. But the twist to this is what? There's also another component to this with AI prompt artists as well, right? Speak to that if you could a little bit, because at first somebody might hear that and be like, man, that clashes. You got traditional artistry and then you're blending the AI component as well. Like, elaborate on that.
Well, first of all, just the graphic design part will be interesting to watch, because normally people don't watch that whole process. They don't get to see that process live. So we're going to have projected onto, the walls and actually in different areas, so the graphic designers can't see what the other person is doing. And so we'll get to watch them in real time design something. And I'm a fine artist, and that's usually just a process alone in my room. So it'll be fun to just get that in public and have an audience and see in real time what they can do. And then the AI part of it, I think it's fascinating, because there is a lot of conflict about it, within artist
Sure.
communities about, whether it's just stealing art, but actually it's a whole nother skill set to be able to feed it prompts and to alter it. You have to have some concept of design to know what to
Yeah.
tell it to do. So I
Right.
think that's a fascinating topic. And so then when you're competing, have that competing with like real artists, not real artists, sorry. They're both artists, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we get it.
It'll be fascinating. And then that was your idea to bring in the AI component.
Yeah. Well, because
Of course, the
AI
innovator
prompt
over
art
here.
is so much fun, and I think some people are either like they're in it quietly or they don't like it. But I want it to. So it's not about who's better, human or AI, even though it seems like that. It's about like creating a platform where talent and technology can shine and inspire and help each other in a collaborative way. Because I want humans to realize that AI is here to enhance and streamline and like make what they're doing better.
Yeah,
So that's the
cool.
whole point of it.
Yeah, and I think what you're doing too is, what I like to talk about in relation to the Treasure Valley and Boise as being a cultural and artistic epicenter, I'll call it. And maybe that's a lofty goal that I'm saying there, but there's a lot of things that are developing in this arena. I think putting events together like this really kind of positions the arena for that conversation. Why do you think that Boise is a good city or the perfect city for pioneering such a concept? Because this kind of stuff exists in other parts of the planet per se, right? But you're sparking something new and innovative in this sense. And why would you say this is the time and this is the place for it?
It's the time because this place has doubled like in the last 5 years. And we have people from all over the place. I mean, a lot of Southern Californians, people who have come from very high culture and, they have a lot of art and music and they come here and they want to be here, but also at the same time, it's slightly disappointing. I think people here are ready. The more people that I talk to, it just sounds like everyone is ready for more art in this space. And they're just wondering where it's at. I've talked to a lot of people who get art from other places, but would like to get it here. Mm-hmm. So I think everyone's ready. And we do have a lot of things growing, with like Tree Fort. A lot of galleries are opening just recently, but there's room for more.
Sure.
There's also something else interesting. There's a huge leap in innovation happening in technology and in AI and infrastructure, energy. If you look at geopolitically, the whole world is coming together. So it's not like from the tech aspect. So it's not like, oh, we're in California or we're here in Boise or we're in Montana. It's kind of like, this is the system that's happening and it's moving up, right? So technology is on the rise. No one can stop it. And I don't want art and creativity to be left behind. So as we energize society like this, and then we kind of incorporate AI and design into what's happening, like we're having a new industrial revolution is sparking. OpenAI just launched a blueprint, and there's a lot of talking and white papers and things coming out about technology. But technology without creativity leaves a gap. And technology without design, beautiful UI, UX, that's what sells things. So if we celebrate design, we celebrate art, then everybody kind of rises together. That's another angle of looking at it.
Yeah, that's great. I kind of had one of those just mind blown moments right now. I was like, wow.
I will not leave art behind.
Yeah.
Zubeida has this really interesting mix of, she has an art background, but very heavily deep in the tech side. And so that I feel like that's very unique, to combine the two of those. There are a lot of artists that I talk to that are wary of technology and feel like it's going to take over what they do. That's not the case. You always need the human touch on everything. You need people to be able to tell the computers and the AI what to do. If you don't feed it more information, it's not going to create anything new.
Yeah.
That's very, very true.
And I don't want to say that this is kind of already maybe explained or insinuated in what you've already said, but earlier we mentioned about this idea of, well, it's in the title, right, of what you dub this, neural versus natural. When somebody sees that right off the bat, they might think of, artificial versus physical versus natural, right? But it's like, how do you help people navigate past this roadblock, I would say, that says, hey, this thing isn't going to take over what you're doing necessarily, but by you learning to either utilize it and navigate it or learn from it, it could potentially enhance what you're doing as well as an artist. How do you help navigate that? I think part of it's in this event, right? Part of it's just getting people together in a space that they might not be in a collaborative space together like that. But what else would you say is on the horizon that you're potentially thinking of, or that this is sparking to head in that direction?
We're
Loaded question, huh?
We have a lot of plans.
What we're doing now with Boise Art Rebel is one event a month, and each event is going to have some kind of collaborative like undertone or collaborative theme to it. So the first one we want to kick off with is answering the main question, neural versus natural, human AI, and then kind of move into a few other things. And every month we'll announce what's coming next. So at this event, we'll announce what the next event is. And then in about 6 months, we have some plans, but we will let everybody know about that a little bit later on as it develops.
Okay. Yeah, you're not going to leak it yet, huh? But okay.
No.
We'll keep it.
As far as people getting over, AI and, the fear around it, like that it takes time. Like it takes time for people to, there's a lot of late adopters, like people are just fearful of technology. And I think the more that we can show people that like the human touch is very valuable, and AI is not going to take over and we can use it just to enhance what we're doing, then people, I think, will embrace it. Mm-hmm. So I hope to show people that.
There's an interesting parallel through history. So I took too many art history classes, which I don't think is too many, but most people do. And I learned about religion through art. I learned about politics, about history, about war. My channel into a lot of things in life was from art and art history. And if you think about it, every time a new technology comes about, people freak out, people get worried, because the number one thing that humans fear is the unknown. So I think the unknown piece of AI and the unknown piece of technology, like artificial intelligence, like intelligence in itself causes people to get worried. But if you do artificial intelligence, it's like beyond what we can imagine in movies. And I think our own mind is more creative than the actual AI. So if people see this thing, like what is this thing? It's artificial intelligence, like machine learning, whatever. What is it learning? It's learning from us. Like we're feeding it. Yeah. So it's kind of like the mouse is more scared than the human, or the human more scared of the mouse. It's like one of those kind of experiments. But also, when the typewriter was invented and when the printing press was invented, every time a new technology is out and it's being adopted by society, even like the axe, when the axe was invented, and it completely broke the hierarchical system of society. So this is one of those moments on an exponential scale. It's like very big. It's happening internationally, and there's a lot of push because the currency of things is becoming compute power, right? So we have to leverage the compute power. And it doesn't mean take away from humans. It just means this is a new way of doing something, and we just kind of manage it, control it, learn your tools, and leverage it to, echo your voice bigger. So
Yeah, and I want to emphasize that this is just one event. Like this isn't our complete focus is, integrating AI and art together. This is just one event. We want to elevate the art in the area and bring more events. And so there's going to be different themes. This is just one of them. So which I think is really fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think it's very, very interesting what you're piecing together and venturing into a space that, like you mentioned, that people are afraid of or people are just unsure of. And so they're not even they don't even know how to tackle it or even just to step in a conversation about it. So being willing to push the envelope in this space, I think is awesome. I want to circle back to something that was mentioned earlier that sparked this conversation. So the area has grown dramatically over the last, decade, and a lot of people coming in with different backgrounds. They have, different insights, different skill sets, etc. Not necessarily finding it here, and so they're sparking things on the surface here, like what you're doing here. But I want to point back to the area of itself and tapping into, the potential. What could I dub it? Latent potential, I would call it, with the environment that we have here. Like if you were to look at it from, hey, this is a prime ground to do this, and the people here are a prime ground to do it with. Again, I want to keep pushing you on this spot for just a second. I'm going somewhere with it.
Okay.
Why would you say that this is the perfect ground for it? Like, what is it with the people, the place, the arena, etc.? Maybe, businesses that are here, or certain personalities that are here, or a willingness to adopt new things. Like, what would you say is kind of a golden nugget that is here, that is prime ground for something like this to occur, if that makes sense?
I think that's a great question. So I'm thinking, because I came from Bozeman, Montana, and before that I lived in big cities, and even international. And there's something very special about the Treasure Valley, the Rocky Mountains, and there's a lot of soul here. And soul is kind of like the essence of creativity. So I feel like there's a lot of things that this area could communicate and could celebrate. I feel like people here are ready, and they're ready to build community around stuff. So if we kind of bring creativity and art and design into one of these community spaces, I think a lot of people will be able to blossom where they probably wouldn't have the opportunity otherwise. I feel like that we don't need to push people in any direction. I feel like everybody here is kind of ready. They're ready to celebrate, ready to participate, ready to collaborate. That's just the vibe that I'm getting. And most people are very welcome. And this area has a very good life balance. I don't want to say work-life balance. I just want to say life balance, right? Yeah. Because a lot of times when you do things that you love, it's not work, but it's kind of like integrating into society, bringing people together. So our small moments of hiking or paddleboarding or being social in other ways, that builds our soul. And I feel like, yes, there's AI, yes, there's technology, but there's also here we have real digital detox, real reset opportunities that in cities you cannot find. Been in Miami, New York, LA, and it's completely different. You don't get to reset. So I feel like people here have a very, very good balance. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I feel like they're ready to participate in cool things like this.
Yeah. I think also another way that it's unique is that it has that small town vibe with it being a relatively big city. I mean, I've lived in other places as well, and you don't always just stop and talk to people and like meet people. Like people here are hungry to connect and do it regularly. Like people know their neighbors. And I'm a part of another group. It's called Creative Women's Collective, and we host monthly events as well. And people are just hungry to get together and be creative. And so any opportunity that's given, like Tree Fort, I mean, you've seen how that has just taken off. Like people love that. We want to create something, I wouldn't say like similar to that, but on just a more regular basis instead of just like a yearly event. And people just seem to embrace anything new that brings people together.
Yeah, that's great. No, great insight. Appreciate you sharing that. One other thought that came to mind is surrounding, a little bit of maybe heart revealing here, if you would, because a lot of people that might be listening to this, they might be in the sector of, they're starting something fresh, whether it's in the business space and they're trying to spearhead a project, an event, etc., or it's an artist, right? It's somebody that's venturing into an arena and maybe they're cracking new ground, or maybe they've been having a go at it for a minute, but haven't really been able to crack through for one reason or another. Could you share with me from like an event organizer's perspective and somebody that is involved in entrepreneurship, like what are any maybe roadblocks or things that you've kind of run into as a struggle in trying to get this thing pieced together? Because we're only a couple of weeks away. So as somebody with the background in event planning and festivals and events and whatnot, I know the pressure that can kind of mount when you're getting close to the finish line here. Granted, I think it's not a huge event, this first one, but nonetheless, there's has to be a ton of things that you're learning in constructing this thing. I mean, you got designers that you're bringing together. You got a DJ that's going to be in there setting the tone and the environment for the space. You got mid-journey artists that are going to be coming in. You're going to be streaming this via Instagram for live voting. You got real-time displays that are going on. I mean, you're kind of pulling in bells and whistles from all over the place. I'm sure Zubeida is a big part of that. What are some of the learning curves that you're picking up on as you're kickstarting this?
So first I want to say this is very fun compared to other work that I'm working on because I love the arts. So one thing that it was a little bit hard to do is get artists to reply. Like if I had a call to action, it'd be like, artists do not, like the people I talk to, they're like, oh, I'm worried about it. Oh, it's a competition. It's fun. And there's a framework to it. I've been in a few of these events before, and I've participated in different levels from like sponsorship to actually being the artist. And it's a fun event. So I encourage all designers and artists to approach us and get in the competition. And what we're going to do is feature them, highlight them as a local artist. We want to celebrate the artist. So if you come in here and you like, I'm not saying go and put up stick figures, but I'm saying just do something. Yeah. Like when you do something, it just evolves. So just the response from the participants who want to compete has been very like shy.
And I want to say that's necessarily particular to this event. Like I'm in artist circles, and a lot of us just don't, we don't apply to the last minute, like overthinking and in our head and like, can I do it? And, can I get the grant and all that? And a lot of us just do it last minute. So I think the hurdles will be approached at the last minute. Like, any event, it's like everything comes up at the last day. So
clearing my schedule. Now that I know, I encourage everybody to just reach out and talk to me or talk to Joelle, and we'll just explain the whole thing. And it's fun. It'll be fun.
Well, this has been fun. This has been fun chopping shop with you. Get to know a little bit about what's going down. And as mentioned, this is coming up right around the corner, Sunday, December 6th, right? Doors open at 8th. Why do I keep saying 6th? I don't know where that's coming from.
Because you said it first.
Okay. And where's it at again and the time?
It's at the Hap Hap Lounge. Doors open at 5:30. Competition starts around 6. And we're going to have 3 rounds and a break between them. We might have some judges. We don't have any official sponsors for this event, but on our future events, we'd really like some official sponsors to kind of increase the prize and make it more like interesting and increase the media exposure and coverage. So if there's any sponsors that are interested, call us. And
absolutely. We'll give the plug right here. I mean, where can they contact you at? Like, where's the spot to get at you?
BoiseArtRevel.com or
Instagram. Boise.art.revel.
Or my cell phone.
Yeah, I know.
Don't give that out yet.
My number is actually on the flyer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it is on the flyer. Okay. Well, you got all kinds of ways to get a hold of you. We'll be sure to drop that stuff here in this episode as well. So awesome.
Thank you so much, Gordie. This is fantastic.
Yeah, ladies.
Great talking to you. Thank you so
Been
much.
a pleasure. Been a pleasure with you both. I'm sure I will see you very, very soon, and we will catch you next time.
Looking forward to it. Thank you. Bye.